Hello, my name is Matt Lathrop. I'll be your instructor for Business Calculus this semester. I just want to take some time to walk you through the syllabus and discuss some of the expectations of the class. Before we dive into that though, I just want to mention the announcements for the course. Important information will get distributed to everyone this way, so every time you log into our course, I would encourage you to check for any new announcements and make sure you're reading those and keeping up to date with the information I'm providing to the class that way. Jumping into the syllabus, we can start talking about this course specifically. This is an online asynchronous course, meaning that there's no scheduled time that we're going to be meeting as a class. It's going to be up to you to work on assignments and complete those by the due date on your own time at your own pace. However, if you do ever have questions, need to get in touch with me, you can message me through Canvas or shoot me an email. I do my best to get back to emails within 24 hours during the week, but it may take a little bit longer to get a reply over the weekend. You can also come to my office hours, which I'm happy to meet with you virtually if you have questions. Primarily what I use office hours are as a time to sort of reply to emails more quickly. You can expect not necessarily an immediate reply if I'm helping someone else, but a very quick reply during those times. So if you have questions you want to pass along that way, or you can contact me and I'll send you a link for a Zoom session so that we can interact and chat about questions or problems you're having that way. We're not going to take a look at all of the information in the syllabus, but I would encourage you to read through all of this. In terms of required materials though, you're going to need online access to Canvas and a graphing calculator, either a TI-83 or 84. You'll need online access to Wolfram Alpha, which is freely available, and you'll need Zoom downloaded for some of our Zoom proctoring sessions, or if you want to meet with me virtually during office hours. So the only thing that you need to purchase for this course is a graphing calculator. Your textbook is completely free. However, there is the option to buy a print version if you would like, but if you're comfortable with an electronic version, that's going to be embedded throughout the course. You may also want a basic or scientific calculator. On parts of our exams, that graphing calculator won't be allowed, so just something to do some simple arithmetic on those portions of the exam might be handy. Skipping down here, we want to talk about the use of technology. This course is obviously going to rely very heavily on technology, given that we're using Canvas, as well as Wolfram Alpha, that site that I mentioned before. We're going to be using that for some applications problems, completing calculations for us. And we'll be using Zoom for both proctoring sessions and virtual office hours. You just want to keep in mind that lack of access to or malfunctioning technology may not be considered an acceptable excuse for late submissions. That means you want to start thinking now about what your backup plan would be if your computer goes out, internet connection goes out. Where else can you go to get things completed by the upcoming due dates? Your attendance and participation in this class are required. While we aren't meeting face-to-face, there are weekly expectations, things you should be completing, reading the e-text, watching videos, taking part in discussions. We won't have discussions every week, but when those do pop up, those will be required activities with different requirements outlined for what you need to complete. There is a drop policy. Any student who's not logged in and attempted at least one assignment prior to the due date will be dropped from this course, and a midterm withdrawal policy. If you fail to access the course for more than 2 weeks without notice, fail to fully participate in more than 2 of our discussions, and if you fail to meaningfully attempt at least 70% of the assignments due by midterm, you could be withdrawn at midterm. My hope is that neither of those policies have to be applied to any of you, but I do just like to let you know, as long as you're attending, logging in, completing assignments, those aren't things you're going to have to worry about. This class will have weekly homework assignments, which will be completed via Canvas. Those do need to be submitted by the due date to receive full credit, but you'll have the option to submit them late with a 10% penalty applied to your score. So that means every homework assignment you should be able to complete with at least a 90% by the end of the semester, if not higher. I typically don't regrade homework assignments since you have the opportunity to work problems over and over again until you get the right answer, but feel free to contact me with questions or if you think the system isn't accepting an answer the way you type it in, or anything else like that. Every module will have a weekly quiz, which you'll receive 2 attempts at. Quizzes do have to be submitted by the due date, or you'll receive a 0. So quizzes have to be submitted by that due date. You'll receive 2 attempts, like I mentioned. The better of your 2 scores is the one that will apply to your grade. So it's always in your best interest to take that second attempt at the quiz. Either you'll do better and improve your grade, or you won't, but you still got some more practice with the material. And maybe identified some concepts you still need to review. Practice quizzes are going to be available to help you prepare for those as well, and you can take those as many times as you want without penalty. Our exams are going to be 2-part in nature. We'll have a theory exam and an applications exam. The theory exam will be more in line with sort of a typical math class where you're asked to work problems, show your work to find your final answers. But then we'll also have applications exams where we'll be using Wolfram Alpha, that site that I mentioned before, to do the calculations for us. And we're going to focus more on how we would set up those problems and then providing some interpretations to our results. Exams have to be completed by the due date, or you'll receive a 0. Practice exams will be available to help you review and prepare. In terms of theory exams, these will be proctored and limited to 1 hour. So these will be the more traditional type of exams where you're given a theoretical problem and you have to apply the concepts to manually arrive at a solution. Partial credit will be awarded where appropriate, and you will be required to submit all your work for exams in order to receive a score. Proctoring times are listed here for each of the different exams. I would encourage you to go ahead and take a look at those now and see what works with your schedule. If those don't work with your schedule, you'll also have the option to have your exam proctored in person in the testing center at one of Heartland's 3 campuses, in Normal, Lincoln, or Pontiac. The applications exams will be unproctored, but still limited to 1 hour. These, again, will be the problems where we're going to use that technology to complete calculations for us. We're going to focus more on getting those results and providing some interpretation. You won't have to submit work since the online site will be doing those calculations for you. But partial credit will still be awarded if you arrive at incorrect results but interpret those correctly. You're going to have a few different opportunities to improve low scores. Homework, as we already mentioned, can be submitted past the due date for up to 90% credit. There will be 2 optional quizzes at the end of the semester. So if you have a quiz that just doesn't go as well as you would have liked, or maybe you completely miss a quiz along the way, there will be a couple of options at the end of the semester to replace those. And then you'll have the opportunity to replace both a theory and an applications exam with your scores on the final exam. So the final exam, both portions apply to your grade, have to be completed to pass the class, but if you can beat out a previous percentage, then I'll bump that previous exam up to match that score you earned on the final. So all the way up to the final, there's a lot of room for your grade to improve if that last week really goes well for you. The exam dates are outlined for you here along with the grading structure for the course. Those theory exams are weighted a little bit more heavily than the application exams, but both applies a significant chunk of your overall score. Taking a look at the weekly schedule, you can see that our first set of assignments opens up on August 16th and are due August 23rd. Then we'll continue on that Monday to Monday schedule. So every Monday morning a new module or a new set of assignments will open, with all of those assignments being due then that following Monday by 11:59 p.m. When we hit those exam weeks, you'll just want to keep in mind that the proctored theory exams will be a requirement. So again, check those proctored exam times to see what works for you. Other than that, again, I would encourage you to come back, read through the syllabus, make sure you're aware of all the information here. Contact me if you ever have questions or problems. Again, I'll do my best to get back to you within 24 hours during the week, oftentimes quicker. But just let me know if you're confused about the content, policies for the course, or even just how or where to navigate around through our Canvas shell. Good luck. I hope everyone has a positive semester.